Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Boss Rush Podcast, a great place to play games and be better. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Derrigan. Alongside me, as always, is the PC muscle race himself, LeRon Dawkins.
Yo.
Wow, not a what's poppin', just a yo. That's
Change things up.
I feel like everyone's heard the what's poppin' from me so much. I mean, like I can only do what's poppin', in so many different
No,
chocolate.
It's your catchphrase.
It's like Stoy's sick,
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Hold on. What's poppin'?
Thank you. God, it's better.
I'm sorry, you had to pull it out of me. My bad, man.
I did. Pull-out game is strong.
Says the guy with two grown-ass babies.
Also joining us is the mad pharmacist herself, Stephanie Klimov.
Generic hello. Someday I'll have my own saying.
Generic hello.
You gotta get one.
It's true.
Be part of the cool kids.
Yeah.
She is the coolest of kids. She doesn't need a catchphrase.
That's
Aww.
true. That's true. She can pull better than I can.
My son. Oh my gosh! Just because you mentioned, I have to say it real quick. So I got my home pole set up in my bedroom to what is it? Like, if it's there, I know I'll practice instead of being in the basement. My son, flips out because it's like a fireman's pole for him. So he's so excited. That kid just fucking climbs up the pole first try. You know how long it took me to fucking climb a pole? 2 months. This kid's like,
All
Mommy,
right.
look what I'm doing. Videotape me.
All right, Stephanie. I need to let you know. Right now. Even the straightest of men, they take to a pole very well.
Clearly.
They take to a pole very well.
I was so jealous of my son. Anyway, sorry. Side tangent.
Does your kid climb trees?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Is it because you just keep that watchful hawk eye on him, or
Well, I do, but I just at least in the general my yard, there's no trees that are easy to climb. You know.
So if he's climbing trees where you can't see him.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Climbing
anyway.
poles.
Yep.
Something I've never been able to do. It's fine.
I suck at the rope climb, so it's amazing. It's amazing because I've messed around on the stripper pole, and everyone's like, "Wow, you're so good at this!" Like, do you know something that we don't? And I'm like, "No, I just know what to do when I get on a pole. That's all." Ooh. And man, maybe I should save the rest of this for after dark.
Yeah.
Wow.
Making a mental note here. Let's talk about LeRon's experience with poles.
With poles.
Wow. All right. Well, both of my kids are up. That's neat. Anyways, this is gonna be a great night. I can just feel it inside. I feel it.
It's even shown on your face, that just expression of. Yep, I can see it.
Yeah, you can probably hear my son crying in the background. So
yeah, you wanna hear something funny? Last night on Crossroads, we our What Are We Playing section of the show. Well, because it was just me and Chris last night, Chris was like, "Hey, you know what? My wife has been playing nothing but Horizon Forbidden West since it came out on Friday." So he's like, "Why don't we just tag her in so she can talk about it?" And I was like, "You know what? That's good because I just made it its own segment of the show, on the timestamps. If you go look at the show right now on my YouTube channel, on the timestamps, it actually has Horizon Forbidden West First Impressions. And guess what? It's completely spoiler free, so you can go check it out right now and get a good idea of what's going on without knowing shit that's happening in the game."
Oh, that's awesome! I can't wait to check that out because
yeah.
I'm hearing a little bit by bit, through the podcasts that are coming out, and I just really want to know more. And the only reason why I haven't gotten or started playing it yet is shamefully, I have not played the first game. It's not for not wanting to, but
I haven't completed the first game. Which is why I haven't put any energy into buying the second game just yet.
Yeah. Have you heard people in general saying whether or not, probably still recommended to play the first game, but is it required? I did hear that
There is a requirement to play the first game. Like you just so you have an idea of like the general world building and stuff like that. Like it is in based off of what I played in the first game. I would probably say yes. Play the first game. I mean, all honesty, it's cheap as hell. Like I mean, like shit. It's like if I'm not mistaken, it's like $20.
Well, I actually got it when it was on PS Plus.
Uh-huh. Okay, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
The only thing you're missing is the Frozen Wilds like edition, which is like a DLC expansion to the game. Because I think the PS Plus is just the base game. But I think Frozen Wilds is like somewhere around $10 or $15, so it's not that much. So honestly, I think that's what PlayStation's thing is now with PlayStation Plus. Like if they give you a free game, like like they want you to go back and buy at least the add-on content for it. Yeah. And vice versa, because now we've got this new thing going on where like we're starting to see DLC pop up. Like Jack Bro and I, we just collabed on like the announcement of the March PlayStation titles. Mm-hmm. And Ghost of Tsushima Legends is actually a bonus game this month. Like it's usually 3 games a month, but they're actually giving you Ghost of Tsushima Legends, which is the actual like just the DLC add-on for the first game before there was a director's cut, because director's cut is like Iki Island, which is a full expansion. But Ghost of Tsushima Legends, I didn't know this. I knew it was an add-on for the game, but I didn't know eventually they made it a standalone title that you could just buy without having the game itself. So now, like, it's a bonus. Now it's a bonus title for PlayStation Plus, which means we technically got 4 games, even though honestly one of them is technically DLC, and people are still kind of raw about that because of Tiny Tina from this, for the February, because Tiny Tina is a DLC for Borderlands 2 that if you buy the Handsome Collection, you get it for free anyway, stuff like that. So people were a little upset about that and stuff. So I'm not sure if Sony like threw this out there as a 4th title to kind of like satisfy the masses, because we've got 3 full-fledged titles this month, and then we have this, but also on the 15th, PS Plus subscribers will have an opportunity to get Grand Theft Auto Online for free. So it's like the standalone multiplayer portion of the game. Get that for free. You have 3 months to redeem it. So it's like, so technically we're getting 5 games this month.
Wow, that's a pretty
that's a big deal. Even though technically Rockstar announced that ahead of schedule, like they announced it before like any of this ever came up. But still, like 5 fucking games in 1 month, like that, no one can complain about PS Plus this month. That's the way I feel.
No. I'm particularly excited about Ghost of Tsushima Legends.
Yeah.
So just to be clear though, like that Iki Island is like still completely different or like separate from the Legends.
Yeah.
Pack, right? Okay.
Yeah. I don't know how the two intertwine, because I think Legends, because I know Legends has a co-op element to it and stuff like that, but Iki Island is just a whole new adventure that's added on to like Ghost of Tsushima, the original game. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh. Just way to pack on more accessible content.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but yeah, so Hannah, Chris's wife, she's not a hardcore gamer, but she's played games like Uncharted. She's an Assassin's Creed fan because she's a teacher, so she's a history teacher. So she loves seeing how the games incorporate this, the world history and all that stuff. And she was like, she fell in love with Horizon because she played it when she was pregnant with their son. And it was a game that, basically she just devoted all these hours to, got lost into the game and the lore and stuff. And so she was like, yeah, when they found out that Horizon Forbidden West was coming out, and it was initially announced for PS5, first thing she was like, honey, you're getting a PS5 so I can play this game.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah. And there's a part of me that I'm like, you know what? I should honestly get the PS5 version, but there's a part of me that's like, maybe I should get the PS4 version and just get the free upgrade. Save the $10.
Oh, I see.
Which by the way, I figured out what's up with that now. Like this, Sony Sony is just trying to recoup the money, for the game. So like if a game comes out on both systems, but you want the next gen stuff, paying the $10 honestly is just the extra $10 cost that it would have cost you if you bought it for the PS5 for the next gen system. That's really all it is. Now I still don't understand the bullshit that they pulled with us on Ghost of Tsushima director's cut. I still don't understand that because the game is $70 on the wall, but you still have to pay $10. I don't understand that. Which is why like Austin and we've been waiting for the game to just have like this version to have like a slight price drop, and then we're just gonna swoop in and get it there.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it drops to like $40 or $50, like then it's worth it, in my opinion.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. Because
well, this is a bit premature, but when do you think, they'll stop releasing like new games for both PS4 and PS5? I know it's probably still way too soon, but
well, Sony when the PS5 came out, like I want to say like immediately after actually no. E3 last year. So this is before the PS5. Wait, no, PS5 was out last year.
Yep.
So E3 of last year, we noticed that Sony had started delisting like SKUs for like the PS4 Pros. They started first in Japan, and then all of a sudden, like the supply went down in other territories and stuff. Like you can still buy a PS4 Pro, but they're not churning them out like they used to. So, and there was a report saying that, like Sony wanted to like completely like abandon like the last gen hardware as soon as possible because like, like they're putting all their chips on the PlayStation 5, which it's a good system. They one of the main reasons why is because when the PS4 came out, the PS3 still lived on for like 5 years into the PS4's life cycle. And the PS4 was like it was just like how the Nintendo Wii was a victory lap for Nintendo in regards of what it did to get Nintendo back on the scene. Yeah, like in the same way the Wii did for Nintendo, the PS4 did for Sony because Sony really got hurt with the PlayStation 3. It was a complicated system. It was a complicated system to develop for, if you did not really know the ins and outs of it, but also like it cost them so much. Sony didn't start, making good on their losses on that hardware until like year 5 of the console's life cycle.
They didn't even start like it cost them like double to sell the PlayStation 3 because they had a PlayStation 2 inside of the PlayStation 3. So like there's like at launch.
Yeah, like it had two different chipsets. Yeah, it had the Emotion engine plus like the Cell engine.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It had two different chipsets.
Fat at that point, right? Because my
PS5 could probably fit a PS4 Pro, my old PS4 Pro in there. Just saying.
This is a big boy. Like I couldn't believe how big the system was when I pulled out the box.
It's like I don't even want to get one until there's a revision.
A revision, yeah.
Like at this point, like I don't need one. I've come to the conclusion that I just don't really need one right now. I want to play Horizon. I think it looks amazing.
You don't have a PS4. Damn.
I got rid of it to get my Series X.
Hey, well, I have a base model PS4.
I'm not playing on that jet engine trash.
Okay, fine. It'll just sit back there on my bookcase.
That's fine.
Chilling.
No, yeah. I didn't mean to call that. PlayStation 4 is a good console. I enjoy it.
It is. I really grew to love mine too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, so the PS4 was like Sony's comeback story, and so, but the PS3 like ate into it, for so long, it ran like almost 5 years in the PS4's life cycle, before they finally said, okay, this is the last game that's coming out for it and all this stuff.
Well, remember, God of War 2 came out in 2000. Almost 2007, and the PlayStation 3 had been out for a year already.
Yeah. So here comes the PS5. The PS5 releases in November of 2020, and by the spring, that's when they started delisting PS4 Pros. And then the reports came out from the the board, like from just like the board of directors meetings and stuff like that Sony wanted to like basically like end of life PS4 as quickly as possible because they didn't want to repeat the same mistake of having the PS4 eat up half of the life cycle of the PS5. When the PS5 came out in such a strong system, like the PS5 was well reviewed, in early builds and stuff,
Well, you remember when the PS4 came out, they were still selling PS2s.
They're still selling PS2s
in Brazil, first of all.
Yeah.
Which is why that market had such a big, like, it had such a long tail, is because they could sell it in countries where tariffs were so high, because they could finally start getting it into the countries for cheap. And so that's why, like, South America and like some of these other countries, like Sega has like a huge following in South America because Genesis was so popular after like the Dreamcast came out, because they could finally get those consoles in there.
I tell you, like when fighting game tournaments like Evo and stuff came around, like man, like if you looked at the all the contestants, all the combatants that showed up for like just to play the game Dead or Alive, the majority of them were from South American countries. It's crazy. And then eventually we discover, there's a Tekken presence down in South America too.
Yeah.
And now like there's Tekken presence in Pakistan and Saudi Arabia, and it's like, woo, like man, they're making the Koreans look bad.
Yeah, it's crazy to look at how these consoles are like just thriving.
It's like they're like Cinderella stories and outside the main countries.
Yeah. Man, but man, the PlayStation 3, the thing is like it had decent games. It just like it just was too expensive.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, Xbox was selling the 360 for half the cost. Literally half, right? And because they had that arcade bundle, also remember, that didn't have a hard drive, and they made you buy memory cards for it, and that was what, $249, I think. It was the same price as the Wii. So,
yeah. That's the one thing I will always give Microsoft credit for. Microsoft knows how to market a system cheaply. They do. And like the Xbox Series S, like if I would have already gotten one if I hadn't spoken to you, Corey, and listened to some of your accounts about how the Series S stands up to the Series X,
Yeah.
Because I mean, I could have really just bought Series S and then be like, okay, I have all the I do have all the systems, because like the OLED doesn't count.
Yeah, but the thing is like you have a PC, which is like, I mean, what, you can't play a few 360 games, big deal, right? I mean, it's I don't know. So my thing with the Series S is like, Microsoft is always going to optimize their games for it because it's their console, right? But like you look at the complaints for Cyberpunk again, but
I know the PS4 version can't catch a break,
or Dying Light 2, or even Guardians of the Galaxy when it came out, right? That was my biggest complaint, was like it doesn't have a 60 frames mode, and they patched an uncapped frame rate in later, but it never hit 60.
Yeah,
it hovers between like 40 and 50 frames, which is better than 30. Don't get me wrong, but like it's still the Series S is I want a Game Pass machine because Xbox is not my main console. That's what it is. And you want to play Halo, you want to play Fortnite, you want to play Minecraft, that's your console, right? I mean, I play Destiny on it because it runs at 60 frames and it runs smoothly, but it looks worse. it looks better. Frame rate wise, it runs better on the Series S, but visually, it looks better on the Xbox One.
Wow.
Which is what I'm hearing a lot of complaints are with Microsoft games too. Like, I don't know if you watched Digital Foundry's thing on Forza Horizon 5.
No, I have not.
Dude, that game looks so good on the Xbox One X.
Really?
It looks amazing. Because it runs at native 4K. Because it has a better graphics card in it.
Wait, the One X has a better graphics card than the Series X?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it has
how?
Let's see.
Why would they do that?
Why would they do that?
So on a lot of games, if you don't care about hitting 60 frames a second, a lot of Microsoft games, the Xbox One X actually performs better. Especially if you have a solid state drive hooked up to it. Which is crazy. It's insane.
Oh, the more you know.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, according to Digital Foundry, on what Halo they did a test with, Forza Horizon 5. What was the other game they did? They did another test. Oh, Far Cry 6, I think they did. So, because Far Cry 6 doesn't have a 60 frames per second mode on Series S. So, like, you might as well just play it on Xbox One X. And the thing is the Series S, for people who don't know, for playing backwards compatible games, it plays the Xbox One or the Xbox One S versions of backwards compatible games, not the Xbox One X version.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
So that's a nice parlor trick they're doing there.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, the Xbox Series S is a nice console if you want to play Game Pass and Microsoft first-party games. And maybe some other games. Like Destiny, I think, is fine. Like, if you're a Destiny player, that's probably fine, right? Fortnite runs fine on it. But a lot of these other third-party games that aren't optimized, I highly just, what is that noise? Anybody else hear that noise?
No. Oh. What are you hearing? What is it?
I was on mute, so.
It was like a, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. Like a fluttering, zippery type sound. I don't know.
I don't know what that was.
I don't know. Anyways. What were we talking about? Oh. You were talking about the PlayStation 4, I think, and then we got sidetracked.
Oh yeah. Oh no. I basically summed it up though. Like they're like Sony. Well, Sony was planning on phasing out the PS4 as quickly as possible.
Oh right.
As a matter of fact, I think they said I think their initial projection was by October of this year, like there would be no more PS4s on the market. Whether it's the base console or the Pro consoles, for sale and stuff like that. But because of the complications with the chip shortage and now the shipping lane problems and stuff like that, they had to bring back production of it, which is also what caused the controversy with Horizon Forbidden West. Horizon Forbidden West was initially announced to be a PS5 title, so we all know that it did start development on PS4, but when the assets came out for PS5, they shifted development on that, but they kept going simultaneously, which I guess is a good thing for them, right? So Horizon Forbidden West was supposed to be a PS5 title. It wasn't going to be a launch title. As a matter of fact,
no. Horizon Forbidden West was going to be a PlayStation 4 only title. It started development as a PlayStation 4 only title.
Yeah. I knew that, but I didn't think it was going to be PS4 only.
Yeah,
okay.
that was the original plan, and then like the last year of development. Or like when the PlayStation 5 was announced, they had only been working on the PS5 port for like 6 months.
Okay, all right, yeah, because if we believe the news back then when it was announced, like Horizon Forbidden West and Gran Turismo would have been out last July. But here we are, like February and now March for those two games. Yeah, so basically, like Sony was so the controversy is that it was going to be released on PS5, and then they announced that the PS4 version was coming months after the fact, and everyone thought the whole dual entitlement system would work because like Sony did not have a game plan. Sony did not have the plan they have now for dual entitlement. Like now it's like you pay $10, which that ain't no big fucking deal. In all honesty, it ain't no big fucking deal. I wish like I said, I wish people would do the math and just realize you're just paying the $10 you would have spent if you bought the PS5 version. That's all it is. Yeah, but yeah.
I think the only reason why it's a big deal is because of Xbox's smart delivery.
Yeah,
that's the only.
I get it.
That and all Microsoft first party games are going to be $60 instead of $70.
Yeah, but here's the thing though, like and you guys pointed out on Arsenal and on a couple of episodes of Crossroads when you guys were on it, like nobody has Microsoft money like that. So Microsoft can do what the hell it wants. You know, if Sony is running around buying like a whole conglomerations of development studios and stuff like that, Sony can do whatever the hell they want too.
Yeah, I mean, it came out the other day that like what Microsoft, I forget who reported this or where it came from. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it was from like a pretty reliable source like Bloomberg or Windows Central or something. Satya Nadella gave Xbox like $200 billion to spend on studios. $200 billion. That means after Bethesda, after Activision, after like everything else, they still have like $110 billion that they are allowed to spend and eat up on acquisitions or deals or whatever in the next like couple years. Like
I'm just waiting for them to snap up Platinum.
Here's the thing. I didn't think they were going to until I saw what Miyazaki said. And how he was not what he said in like some of the reports or something, but he said something else later after that interview where he was like, Japan is stuck in the old ways. We need to start having a Western sensibility. Then he quoted
Miyazaki's
Kojima.
not the only one that said that.
Yeah, he quoted Kojima or something, and then he started talking about, or maybe it was the podcast I was listening to where they were talking about this, where they were like, Kojima has so many Western sensibilities as a director, as a game developer, right? I mean, look at Metal Gear. How Western is that? How 80s action movies is that series?
For real, yeah.
And like, you know, his favorite show is The Walking Dead. His best friends are all like actors from, you know, Hollywood actors, right? He said that they need to stop thinking that way and start getting with what's going to help them survive in the gaming market in this century.
Yeah.
You know, and also I kind of think that was probably a slight dig at Nintendo because Nintendo's still stuck in 1987.
Don't get
me wrong. Love Nintendo, right?
I love Nintendo
Love
too.
Nintendo, but
I don't love Nintendo more than I love PC and PlayStation, but you know, I love Nintendo.
Side tangent. I look at Horizon and I'm just like, why can't Nintendo just build hardware that can make a Zelda game that looks like this?
Right?
Oh,
right?
Yes.
Right?
I love, like, as much as I love Breath of the Wild, like, what if that game looked like Horizon? You know, like, oh my gosh.
What did it look like? What? Yeah. For real, you know,
I mean, I look at the. I still watch the Wii U tech demo, the Zelda tech demo, and I'm like, oh my gosh, why can we never get a Zelda that looks like this?
I know, like they came so close with Twilight Princess, but like Twilight Princess, like just design wise, but obviously the technology, like it's still like, I don't want to call it cartoony, but I'm like, there's so much opportunity and it's perfect.
It's still animated. It's still like
I would love to wake up one day and see news that Nintendo is making a system that's on par with like today's like gaming tech. You know,
the thing is,
when I say on par, I don't mean it's going to fuck with the 360. I mean with the Series X and the PS5. On par means on par, like technically, like if we're going to go in computer terms, like right, like the NVIDIA GeForce 1080 Ti still performs well. You know,
no idea what you just said.
Okay, it's
these are computer terms.
it's a graphics card from 2 generations ago because we're on the third we're on the 12th we're on the 13th generation of graphics cards. But yeah, so a graphics card that's outdated, and you know, in computer terms, like like as soon as you buy it and take it outside in the parking lot, it's already obsolete and stuff like that. You know, but a graphics card from 2 generations ago still does remarkable performance in gaming and stuff like that. You know, it's not going to get you your 4K 60 and all that stuff, but it will get you high resolutions and some very good frame rates and stuff like that. You know, and stuff like that.
My thing is with Nintendo, they have a gold mine in this machine right here, right?
The Switch,
and they are never going to progress past this type of device, whether the Switch 2 looks like this or not, right? They're never going to pass this unless they make a console like the PS5 and Xbox Series X. Like that's the only way, and they're never going to. And
let me tell you,
everybody's like, oh, the Switch is in the middle of its life cycle. I'm like, I hope they come out with some sort of like upgrade sooner than that. I want the Switch to exist in perpetuity, like an iPad, right? Like every 3 or 4 years, you trade yours in, you get a new one, right? It runs all your games still, right? Like that's what I want from Nintendo. But there's going to come to a point where a lot of people are going to get tired of looking at this or not being able to play third parties on the go because, you look at the complaints about Kingdom Hearts, right? I don't even want to go there, but it's just, I don't know. The Switch is just, it's the perfect.
I love the Nintendo Switch.
It's the perfect machine. It's the perfect machine for Nintendo, but they're still stuck back in time to the point where like they've always been the king of the handhelds. Their online system sucks. Their store sucks. Like their first party games are great, but I know how many people, if you ask them if they want a Zelda that looks like Horizon, how many people are going to tell you no?
Oh God.
How many people are you going to tell you no?
Well, here's the thing, though. Like, I've heard many people say The Witcher runs decent, on the Switch.
It does. I played it.
So I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I feel like Nintendo fans aren't even asking for that much. I mean, if The Witcher can run decent, then they can still bump up visual quality of a Zelda game.
Yes, but Nintendo has trained their audience.
Yes.
To have expectations.
Yeah.
People know when they buy it on a Nintendo system, it's not going to be the best version of the game. It's going to be not a dumbed down version, but like I played The Witcher, I played Doom, I played Wolfenstein 2, I played Assassin's Creed 4 on the Switch. All great. They all run. They're serviceable games. I cannot believe that Doom and Wolfenstein run as well as they do on this machine.
Shit. Alien Isolation? Oh my God.
Digital Foundry says it's the best version.
The best version? Yeah. Digital Foundry says Alien Isolation on the Switch is better than practically every version, including the PC version.
How?
Yeah. I don't
because
know.
Because the team that translated the game, like they knew all the tricks to make the Switch do. And because honestly, like when I looked at
the port, was it Virtuous?
Hold on, I'll look.
I got it.
Okay, yeah.
Because that is a rare thing to say.
Yeah. The company that ran the port though, like they knew every nuanced trick to make that hardware shine. And I know the crazy part. We talk about. Okay, we talk about the hardware aspect of the Switch right now because the Switch is in a very good place. They're partnering with NVIDIA for like their actual chipset and stuff like that. When the next version of the Switch comes out, if they're still partnering with NVIDIA, they're gonna get stuff that this Switch didn't even have, like DLSS, which is called deep learning super sampling. Basically how that works is that you play like the game data is sent to a server, to one of NVIDIA's servers. It analyzes the game and it actually finds ways to actually enhance like the graphical fidelity of the game as well as performance of the game, and it actually sends it back in really minuscule data. It doesn't even hurt your system. That's the crazy part. In very minuscule data. So DLSS actually upscales it upscales 1080 games to 4K quality, and you doesn't make you and you don't even wind up using you don't wind up using enough of the hardware to slow down your system.
Yeah, that's what theoretically in the future Microsoft's machine learning can do for the Series X too.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's what the OLED Switch was rumored to be, right? Like they were supposed to run on the next generation of NVIDIA chips.
Tegra, not the 2.0.
I think it's the X2 something. Whatever, like that in between generation between the X2 and the X3 was.
Yeah.
Was that like because they released like a mid-tier version, and it was supposed to like rumored to have that DLSS to make it look like the Switch was more powerful than it really was, and they couldn't get the chips, so they were sitting on these screens that they bought from Samsung, right? These Samsung screens they bought like a year and a half ago in bulk to develop this thing, and yeah. So
the OLED was born.
Yeah. So I still see like a refresh of the Switch coming in like a year and a half, right? I still see it. You know, it's going to have the OLED screen, but it's going to have all that chipset in it, and that's going to prolong the life for a little bit. But like, I don't know. I just feel like the Switch is such a pinnacle for Nintendo, and I don't know where they go from here.
Before the Switch came out, the last system I got super excited for was the GameCube. And let's be honest, the GameCube was the last traditional console that Nintendo ever made.
Yeah. It was the most powerful that generation, too. Remember?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
Because, like, it didn't have, like, the best hardware inside, but it was more powerful and could produce better graphics for the games because it didn't have the DVD player in it. It didn't have, like, the hardware wasn't required to know everything else that was going on with the system because it was just a system that played games. Mm-hmm. Which, at the time, everybody was pissed about, but it was actually probably the smarter move. And then it didn't sell any. It sold like what 21 million units.
I don't understand.
I know, which is odd.
I don't understand how the GameCube sold that badly. I don't understand.
I don't know. I feel like the N64 didn't sell that many units either. I think it sold like 30 something million units.
That's crazy because the N64. If you talk to any Nintendo fan, Nintendo 64 is the most popular Nintendo system.
Yeah, I mean, I think
it's the reason. It's the reason why Nintendo just shit on giving us GBA ports, you know, and just went straight to Nintendo 64.
Yeah, Nintendo 64 sold 32.93 million units compared to the 102.49 million PlayStations.
Phew.
I didn't realize the PlayStation was that popular.
The PlayStation was that popular, and you know, like I don't know if you look at a guy like me, because I've explained quite a few times, you know, throughout the year and some change I've been with Boss Rush now. I got to a point where like I was a Nintendo fan, and then like one day I woke up and I was like I outgrew Nintendo, and it was right in the Nintendo 64 era. Like I outgrew it. You know, it seemed like there was no games on the Nintendo 64 that I really wanted to play. There wasn't enough of them to make me go out and spend money on the system. But over on the PlayStation side, you know, like gaming had gotten a little more mature. I'd grown up and looked like games had grown up with me over on that side of the street. So you know that's where I went, and I know for sure PS1 like definitely hurt the user base of the Nintendo 64. It didn't hurt it enough that Nintendo was like, you know what, we're gonna make a massive you know like shift, you know, in our focus on gaming and stuff, because they came out the GameCube next, which is a traditional console. Mm-hmm. But then, you know, like I guess now that we know that the GameCube didn't sell that much, I guess they were like, okay, yeah, we're gonna just swing for the fences and see what happens. And you know, we got the Wii, which is, you know, the Wii is like the I don't even know how to define what the Wii was, because the Wii was a system that was too damn marketable, in my opinion. You had the same old ass ladies who were bitching at their little grandsons. If you don't turn that mess off, and all of a sudden they're buying them off the shelves for themselves and shit. And it's like, what the fuck? What Twilight Zone are we living in where old ass ladies are buying the systems before they're buying them for their kids? You know,
well, you know, maybe I'm reaching then, because you know, just judging from the past, maybe that just like reaffirmed with Nintendo. They're like, well, GameCube was kind of the best of what's around at the time, but whenever we come up with something quirky and different, even though not as powerful, bam, sales. So
well that's true, because the Wii was lightning in a bottle for Nintendo. It really was. And then the Wii U comes out and they're like, how come it's not selling, you know? Mm-hmm. And I mean, that's my thing is, and this is kind of where Nintendo shot themselves in the foot. The Wii was such a hit that they thought that just like cell phone technology, as soon as the next one comes out, everybody that bought the first one is going to buy this new one. That doesn't work like that, because all those old ass people, you know, the grandmas, you know, like the granduncles and all that stuff, you know, they're like, I already have this thing that plays video games. Why do I need another one? You know? And it also gotten to the point where like it used to be a system that they would turn on every day to play like Wii Sports or some of the other like, don't take this the wrong way, other rinky dink games, but stuff that entertained them, until eventually like just like how I play Monster Hunter until I don't play Monster Hunter. Same thing applies to them, except they burn out at a tremendously faster rate than for my games. And so what made Nintendo thought that they were going to repeat the same sales success with the Wii U that they did with the Wii, and that wasn't the case because
their marketing was terrible.
Well, the marketing was terrible, but they also didn't understand their user base.
I still talk to people, and they still think the Wii U is the tablet. It's just the tablet.
That too.
They're like, oh, is that the tablet that hooks up to your Wii? I'm like, no, it's like a whole unit. And
they thought it was an add-on.
Yeah, they thought it was like a tablet, and that was like the big market. That was like everybody was confused when the Wii U came out.
Wow, I did not know that people thought that the Wii U was the face pad add-on. I did not know that.
Yeah, everybody thought it because like the rumor, like it was called Project Cafe. The code name for Wii U was called Project Cafe, and the rumors had started coming out that it was like, oh, well, there's a screen on the controller, and you can actually like play your games on the controller, and you could play the games regularly or on your controller, and like everybody's like, oh, that sounds like a neat idea, but what are they going to show off? What are they going to show to utilize that? And then like they showed it off, and the only game they showed off when they revealed it was Nintendo Land, and the only games they showed on it were the things that were happening on the tablet, and then people using Wii remotes. This was the original reveal of the Wii U. They showed Nintendo Land, the games on the tablet, and then people doing stuff with Wii remotes. They didn't even show the Wii U. Like, they didn't even show the Wii U what it looked like. Like, they had it laying behind the controller. Like, the generic stock image of the Wii U where the controller is kind of angled in front of the box. Like the unit. That's the image they showed. Well, when the Wii is laying down, it kind of looks like that. And people thought, like, oh, well, maybe they're redesigning the Wii because it's round now. And the tablet is an add-on. And, like, by the time people realized it, like, Nintendo was supporting the 3DS at the time also, and like there were big lulls and big gaps, and like you can go back and listen to old episodes of Nintendo Power Block where Ed and I were talking about this, where we were like, there would be weeks where we would just literally talk about nothing for weeks at a time because Nintendo didn't have any games coming out, and then there would be like a flood of 3DS games, and then there would be like 2 or 3 Wii U games.
That was the other problem that hurt them. The other problem that hurt them. Like the handheld market was just running rampant over the console market.
Yeah, I mean, I remember
their own handheld market because I mean the PSP did okay for what it was. The Vita not so much, but that's because Sony just
the PSP sold well because it was easy to hack, right? And make an emulator.
That, and that's also the reason why. That's also what hurt the Dreamcast too. Yeah.
The Dreamcast was a joke.
We
used to rent games from Blockbuster and burn them and take them back the same night.
Yeah.
Because like all you had to do was like there was like the Bleem disc, right, that you could order, and like you just stuck the Bleem disc in. It read it it literally just tricked the Dreamcast into thinking that every disc was a Dreamcast disc.
Yeah.
And then like there was like the Bleem station where it tricked the Dreamcast into thinking it was a PlayStation, and you could play PlayStation games on your Dreamcast.
I remember seeing people play Gran Turismo on the Dreamcast.
I played Grand Theft Auto 2 on my Dreamcast, and it was a PlayStation burn disc.
Yeah, man.
That was an experience.
That's another conversation we could say for how what piracy has done and what piracy has done for and not for consoles.
Yeah,
that could be a conversation in itself.
Yeah, I mean, like going. Oh, go ahead, LeRon.
No, I was just gonna say I would literally like just like that meme, like take my money. I would literally do that if Nintendo was like, hey, we're coming out of a hardcore system that's going to have these specs and do this, and and it's going to be a full-on system with fully realized like internet capabilities, like networking and all that stuff. Just like your favorite consoles right now. And I'd be like, ooh. But actually, I would be like, take my money, but but first I'd be like, tell me what games you have before I give you my money.
I mean, but the thing with Nintendo is you're going to get the same things. Like, not that they're bad. Like, I'm so excited for this Mario Kart DLC. I bought it the second I found out about it. Right? Like, I just whatever. But
well, the
online stuff's going to be
though.
like it's going to be like Mario Kart and Smash and Mario Golf and Mario Tennis and maybe some third party stuff that trickles in like Bomberman or whatever. But like Nintendo's online service is only going to be as good as their online offering, and they fixed a lot with Smash, right? Like that when Smash launched, it was like playing a slideshow. It was terrible, but like I mean, it improved over time, and the new dock actually has the Ethernet port in it, and it actually like makes everything so much smoother. But I mean, Stephanie, when we played Mario Party with Ed and Celeste, like our game dropped like halfway through, just like for no reason, literally no reason. So I don't know. I don't go to Nintendo for online, right? I know, like, again, I know what I'm getting with Nintendo. It's not a great online service. I'm getting it for my Nintendo fix, right? If I want to play something online, I'm getting it on Xbox.
Yeah, I'm doing the Switch thing wrong because I'm still buying games like I'm a hardcore gamer or something. Like I don't even buy like the quintessential Nintendo games. Where's my Let's see. Bayonetta, Monster Hunter, Final Fantasy X, Final Fantasy X, 10-2, Final Fantasy 12, Astro Chain.
Great games.
Catherine Full Body Collection.
Those are great games. 4. Those are all great games.
But what I'm saying is I'm not buying them to get my Nintendo fix. Let me see. Actual Nintendo games I have. Breath of the Wild, Luigi's Mansion 3, Mario 3D All-Stars, which I can't even take credit for that one because someone bought that game for me, just like my boyfriend bought the Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury.
Great game.
But it's a no-brainer that I was going to buy Metroid Dread. That's a no-brainer. Mm-hmm. That's honestly the one Nintendo game that I set out to buy.
Mm-hmm. It's a great.
I'm telling you, Nintendo. Like, you will always make money off of me if you produce quality Metroid games. You will always make money off of me.
Yeah, I mean,
I said quality because like y'all made.
By the way,
y'all
the rumor,
let some trash get out there with the Metroid name on it.
Did you see the new rumor, LeRon?
About Metroid Prime 4?
No, kind of, but it's more Metroid Prime. The original Metroid Prime is rumored to be getting a from the ground up remake.
A from the ground up remake, yeah.
Supposedly that's going to be.
You know what?
That's going to be.
Guess what?
This
I
year.
I will spend $60 for it all over again.
Good, because they're going to make you spend $60.
I know they are. It'd be nice if they did $20 like Front Mission, but
it'd be nice if they just up-res the games, all 3 games, and put them out for $60 like they used to.
In one collection, yeah. But that's the other. That's the other thing. Like I say it, like us as gamers, we do it to ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we stand our ground one time, like no, we're not going to spend full price for a port.
I am.
They'll have to be like.
What? I did. I spent $60 on all the ports.
I can't say I spend. I can't say I spend that money all the time, but I mean like. I spent
$60 on Donkey Kong when I could have gotten it on Wii U for $20.
If my boyfriend hadn't have got me this damn game right here, I was going to walk my ass in the store any day and buy it at full price. And even though I never played this game on the Wii U, I knew it was a port. I knew.
Yeah, but they actually did a lot to that game to make it feel better than the Wii U version.
Okay.
They sped up the movement speed. They made the physics and the jumps different. It feels way better.
Yeah, I mean, and by the way, because I know someone's going to be in our comments later, be like, "Oh man, look, once again, LeRon shitting on Nintendo." No, I am not. As a matter of fact, I've had a very nice conversation about Nintendo tonight. I
don't think we're bashing Nintendo in the ways that people already know that it's bad. People know their online infrastructure is bad.
Here's the thing about it though, like the fans kid themselves about this stuff because they complain about it, but they still turn around and eat up everything Nintendo throws at them, And you know what? I get it, Like I've said this on Pow Block a few times I've been on the show. Like Nintendo is the number one video gaming company in the world. That says something. Considering that Microsoft has the money to buy every fucking other fucking.
They tried to buy
video
Nintendo
gaming company. Yeah. So when you think about that, the one thing Nintendo needs to do is take doesn't have to take all the risks. Just take one risk every half a year. One risk.
The thing is,
it doesn't have to be hardware.
Nintendo has the gameplay down, right? They know how to make great playing games. They're finally experimenting with story stuff, right? Xenoblade is a great example. Those games, again, a little convoluted, but
Xenoblade wasn't even their original IP, though.
Xenoblade Chronicles is a Nintendo-created IP. Saga and Xenogears are technically different franchises.
Wait. So you tell me the Xenoblade Chronicles, the one that came out on PS3 and Xbox?
Nope, that's Xenosaga.
No.
Xenoblade Chronicles is a Nintendo-owned property. Monolith makes Xenoblade, which is owned by Nintendo. Here's the thing. Monolith used to be independent. They made Xenogears, which is owned by Square Enix.
I remember that. Yeah.
Then they were purchased by Bandai Namco and made Xenosaga. 3 games for Xenosaga on the PlayStation 2. And then Nintendo bought them. And their first game for Nintendo was actually Batten Kaitos, I think, actually.
Oh, okay.
And then they made Xenoblade for the Wii, and then Xenoblade Chronicles 2, or Xenoblade X, actually. Xenoblade Chronicles X for the Wii U. Technically the best one that we will never get on the Switch because it requires the second pad. Although they've made games work before.
Okay, I could have sworn like the original Xenoblade Chronicles was multi-platform. I could have sworn. Okay, well it also doesn't help that they let one retailer sell that game.
You had to pre-order it too.
Yeah, you had to pre-order it. They let one retailer sell that game, and at the time, that retailer to me was like Devil Incarnate.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, they still are Devil Incarnate, but at least I actually walk into their stores now. I don't buy shit, but I walk into their stores.
I mean, that whole Operation Rainfall set of games you had to pre-order. It was Xenoblade Chronicles, Last Story, which was Mistwalker, which if you haven't played Lost Odyssey or Last Story, I highly recommend you track those games down. They are amazing. Lost Odyssey is an Xbox exclusive, and Last Story is a Wii exclusive. Last Story is going to cost you a fortune, but Lost Odyssey is on sale all the time. What?
Oh, I was going to say, not to backpedal, but, because we're talking about Nintendo and whether or not, are we bashing them or not bashing them? But here's, another way to spin it or another perspective to put it, to add on to the fact that Nintendo, in a sense, is kind of one of the greatest. It's because it has people talking, whether it's people complaining about them or praising them. Like, Nintendo has this ability to generate a lot of conversation. And kind of that's how I evaluate what makes a good novel or good story. Maybe there's a main character and that main character just pisses you off and you're talking about it with people. Author got you to talk about it. I mean, things can still go really bad, but I'm just saying Nintendo.
It's the saying that all publicity is good publicity.
In a sense, even though I feel like Nintendo. Who was it Miyamoto who says a bad game is always a bad game, something like that. But just the way they do things, we say they march the beat of their own drum and stuff like that. For better or for worse, they get people talking, they get people riled up, and that's what kind of can keep them relevant. Whether or not they've been making the best choices, whether or not they actually give a crap about their fans, that's up for debate. But again, that's what gets us talking. So
yeah, Plus, like, whether you like all of Nintendo's games or not, you can't deny that their output is incredibly insane now that they're all on one console, right? Mm-hmm. Instead of spreading themselves across 3DS and another console, like their output is insane. This year they're going to have a major first party release every month except for January, which is crazy.
More power to them.
And most of them I'm excited for, unfortunately.
What's the one you're most excited for?
Xenoblade.
Okay.
Stephanie, Nintendo specific?
Yeah. Y'all gonna laugh when I say mine.
I mean, Breath of the Wild, I guess, but like, I don't even know if that's going to come out this year at this point.
Stop saying that.
I seriously, I think Nintendo kind of wants Zelda to be like their, what do you call it, like their premier franchise. And I think with the reviews that Horizon is getting and that Elden Ring is clearly getting, like, I think they want to come out in a year where they're like, hey, we are clearly going to be the game of the year. It doesn't matter.
I don't know. Would Nintendo delay just for that? I don't know. But
I mean, not necessarily.
It's a possibility.
While we ponder this, so let's go through it. Like, Pokemon Arceus was not really, well, it's Nintendo, but it's not. It's Game Freak, right? So, then we got. I'm thinking of not. Let's see. My brain, Kirby. I don't know. Like, at first I was super hyped because we haven't seen like a Kirby as frequently as others. But quite frankly, I don't want to say I can care less, but like, I'll get it whenever I get to it. I'm not a huge Splatoon person. Again, when I say all this, like, I'm not saying that they're going to be bad. It's just personal preference. Not really into Splatoon. Xenoblade, I haven't played the other Xenoblade, so like, I have to play the other ones first before I can play this. So what other major ones am I missing, LeRon? I know I'm missing a lot, but I've had a very long day and I just can't keep track of these Nintendo IPs that are coming out this year. Oh, Bayonetta. No.
Bayonetta 3. Yep. Let's see. We've got the Advance Wars 1 and 2 reboot. We've got that Fire Emblem Warriors game coming. Yeah. What else? Hold on. Where's the list of I'm just gonna put games coming to Switch 2022.
Yeah, because like, to be quite honest with you, and
there's Kirby and the Forgotten Land.
Yep.
No, Prime 4 does not exist until we see an actual date.
Exactly. Let's just not get our hopes up.
Yeah. Okay. Splatoon 3 says release in 2022. So does Bayonetta. Bayonetta doesn't have a specific date. Oh, well, shit. Like, this is all? This is the list?
Mario plus Rabbids, Sparks of Hope, I would think. But, so, like, see, when I think about that, like, I acknowledge that there are a lot of great games coming for Nintendo Switch this year. And as much as I'm a Nintendo fan, all the games that I'm, like, super, super hyped for actually are not Nintendo games this year. Not counting Breath of the Wild. Like, I want Stray, which is going to be a PC and PS5 game.
Yep.
I'm now getting super hyped for Elden Ring, which I wasn't before, but all these like pre-reviews coming out, I'm like, bring it.
I mean, I'm amped for Mario Strikers Battle League coming out in June.
Oh, there you go. I have my answer then for Nintendo. The Nintendo Switch sports.
The sports. Okay.
That's it. Like, it kind of makes me wonder, since the Wii U didn't do too well, and it's been a significant amount of time since the Wii, and Nintendo Switch Sports is coming out, quote unquote, mid-cycle. I wonder if it's going to give the Switch another boost in sales, because
it will.
So. Anyway, so I think it's your turn, right? Did you just say it? Is Strikers going to be your No, it's not.
It's Advance Wars.
Yeah.
It's Advance Wars. Like I mean, I
enough said.
Yeah, I mean, it's Advance Wars, but that's for the actual Nintendo IP, because I mean, like, this might be looking to be a good year for me in Nintendo games, but specifically Nintendo properties, because like the Mario Strikers game, I'm probably going to have to get that too. If Breath of the Wild 2 is coming out this year, I'll get that. But I mean, like, other games are coming to the Switch. Front Mission 1 and 2. Jesus Christ, say no more. Bayonetta 3, yeah, yeah. This is going to be a good year for gamers who own a Nintendo system.
Yeah. And, again, about the thing we say about expectations, I'm not going to set it up high, and this is definitely not confirmed or anything, but we are kind of whittling down the list of the second phase of the N64 and Nintendo Switch Online, right? With Majora's Mask coming out in 2 days. I think I did the math. The last game that they have scheduled falls like in June or July when E3 normally would occur. So I would like to hope, once again, tempering expectations, that Nintendo will announce kind of the next phase of the expansion pack, which could hopefully give it more value than it currently does. And I'm looking forward to that. Which, by the way, who does have Elden Ring on their...
Chris is getting it this week.
No, I meant between the three of us, who called Elden Ring for their draft?
Was
it you, LeRon?
I did.
I think it's you, LeRon.
See, you're...
Didn't IGN just give it a 10?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
a lot of places are getting 10s.
I'm gonna win this bitch.
Yeah, I think that the year is done. We'll just give it to you already. There you go.
Yeah, LeRon has Elden Ring and Horizon.
Right? So I'm like, we're done.
Y'all allowed me to stay in my lane. Y'all should be immediately like veered. Y'all should encroached.
I was too busy taking Corey's games.
Yeah. See, I thought Elden Ring could have gone either way because it's their first open world game. Right? And so I thought like, okay, it could either go it's going to either be like a From Software style masterpiece or it's going to be like a huge failure. Because like that's not what they do, And so I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm happy for people who are excited for it. I know David pre-ordered it based off reviews. But, good for Elden Ring.
Coming out tomorrow or Friday?
Friday, I think.
Okay, see, this is a big week. I mean, even though I'm not getting Elden Ring day one, and I'm not necessarily saying I'm getting these games day one, but the games I had my eyes set on for this week, and again, I tend to go for the smaller games, but on the Switch, Never Alone Arctic Collection is releasing, and it's an atmospheric puzzle platformer, but what I love about it and what will immediately get me to buy a game is that it was developed in collaboration with the Inupiat. I'm so sorry if I pronounced it wrong, Alaskan Native people. So like any time that other cultures are involved where I can kind of go through a whole different experience, you got me sold. So I want to get that. And I do kind of want to get Martha is Dead on Xbox.
I'm curious about that game too. I might get it on PC.
Yeah, I know Stoy is going to be writing a game review on it.
Oh, nice. Cool.
I mean, I don't know, like, part of me thinks, Steph, you spent enough money already, wait till you at least read the game review. But on the other hand, I kind of was intending on buying it anyway. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. Elden Ring doesn't interest me like at all.
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't really move the earth for me. And the fact that it definitely has like the Souls qualities to it is like it's a no for me.
I played enough Souls games and enough Bloodborne to know that like I don't care about any of those games. Like they're just not for me. I mean, Bloodborne was way better than Dark Souls in my opinion, but still, it's just like whatever. There's other games that I would rather play.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's just my opinion. I'm glad it's doing great. I hope it does. I'm not like trying to be like, oh, I hope it sucks. I just know it's not for me, and I'm just not gonna waste my money on it.
Well, you're a normal, regular person.
Yeah, you're not someone that's running Metacritic right now, review bombing it like people were review bombing Horizon Forbidden West.
Yeah, I saw that.
So stupid, so fucking stupid.
Yeah. So I got Destiny to play. I don't have time.
Oh, did anyone pick up Ollie World?
What?
Did anyone?
No.
Ollie World? Did anyone pick that up?
No.
Oh, that's a skateboarding game.
Skateboarding game. Yeah.
I was like trying to figure out what you were saying. I'm like, what are you saying?
It's colorful. It looks cool, but it's just like totally not my type of game.
Yeah, Ollie Ollie actually wasn't really that good.
It wasn't?
In my opinion, the first two.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, this is like a different game than those two, but it just Ollie Ollie didn't do anything for me.
Uh-huh.
It was on Game Pass a while ago. I tried it out. It was before before Tony Hawk came out, and everybody was like kind of craving skateboard games, and then those not skate games came out. I forget what they were called, but yeah. Man, our Discord is blowing up. My phone just keeps going off.
Yeah, same.
So, but yeah, I'm actually like really excited to play some Nintendo games. To be honest with you, I started Xenoblade Chronicles 2 again because I just never finished it, and then I want to play 2. I want to play them before 3 comes out, because the epilogue of the definitive edition of 1 ties it together with 2, and then 3 ties together the first 2 games into the future. So like I want to like just play them.
So is that what you're playing now?
Partially.
No, he's playing Destiny.
Partially playing Xenoblade. But see, I can't play Destiny while my kids are awake.
Oh.
So I have to have a Switch game. But I guess we could talk about what we're playing now, since we're an hour and 5 minutes into the show.
We were having a really good meta discussion about just the state of gaming. That's really what it felt like too. We talked about the state of gaming without really mentioning the state of gaming.
Yeah. So, but yes, I am playing Destiny. I stayed up way too late last night playing the opening missions of the Witch Queen, and oh my god, that's all I gotta say. The campaign is so good. I'm about halfway done. I would like to finish it before we record Tower Casuals tomorrow, which I will probably stay up and do tonight. Probably a terrible decision, but I'm going to try. The production of this campaign and the story that they're telling and the way that they're telling it, this might be the best campaign Bungie has ever done, period, full stop.
Oh, okay.
Including Halo.
Wow.
So, I said I was going to sit on it for a while and really think about it, because there are 2 campaigns in Destiny that really stick out as top tier, in my opinion, and that's the Taken King from Destiny 1 and the Forsaken campaign from... it was the first major campaign that came out for Destiny 2. And, but this just kind of blows it out of the water. They're telling a story of, like, deception and, like, people who don't know, Destiny is about, like, the light and the darkness, and they're starting to look at the game as, like, light isn't always good and darkness isn't always bad. And, the villains of Destiny have stolen the light, and you now have to fight bad guardians, and it's like really cool to see other enemies use your powers against you, and how you have to like kind of play rock paper scissors with it in a sense. It's just really cool. And then like the enemies will respawn unless you go up there and like crush their ghosts, which the ghost is the lore reason for you to how you revive when you die.
Interesting.
So it's really cool. And then there's like there's a turncoat hive ghost. The hive are the bad guys. And there's a turncoat hive ghost named Finch, and he's like trying to help you solve this mystery, and it's really cool because he kind of like where you meet him in the Dreaming City, he's like hovering over his hive guardian, and he's not reviving him. which is just hilarious. You just see this dead hive guardian laying there, and he's just hovering there, and he's like, "Oh, I got another clue for you, guardian," or whatever, and then you gotta go and like solve this puzzle for him. It's really cool. And like the villain Savathun is just really scary. She's just like really scary. She's the goddess of deception, and like every time you like, it's not her, but like in the story you think you're about to like kill her, and then she like disappears, and then like 40 Savathuns like show up and like scare the crap out of you, and then they all disappear.
Oh jeez. So the game's playing mind tricks on you.
Yeah, it's just really good. It's just it's really good. I don't know how to recommend Destiny to people who haven't been playing it already, but this campaign, if there was going to be a Destiny 3, this would be, I would say Beyond Light, which was the last campaign, is like the start of like a Destiny 3 if there was going to be one. But this is it. We are in the final act of Destiny in the story that they're telling right now. It's really exciting.
Wait, is this part of the one that's free to play right now? Like, because remember, okay.
The free to play Destiny sucks.
Okay.
Like, it doesn't teach you anything about the game.
Okay. I was just making sure.
Yeah. I mean, like, look, if you want like a shooter to play and you want like to shoot cool guns and stuff, I guess you could play the free to play version, and like, but you don't get any of like the cool end game stuff, you know, like you don't get any of the cool stuff that comes with the campaign, and obviously the seasonal passes like give you cool weapons and armor and stuff that you don't get, and you don't get access to raids or the dungeons or anything. You have to buy like the big version. But gosh, Destiny's so good. Oh my gosh, I can't believe like the Beyond Light campaign and this campaign were made by the same company. And the Beyond Light campaign was good. It wasn't great, but it was good. But this is just like it's anyways, I feel like I just keep saying how good it is, and I don't want to spoil anything for people who play Destiny, and people who don't play Destiny don't care. So that's where I'm at. Somebody else start talking, please.
I love the passion, though.
Yeah.
Oh,
hey, he sounds like me. He sounds like me when I talk about Monster Hunter. I'm about to talk about Monster Hunter.
I got show and tell too for Destiny.
Oh, here we go. There he goes. It's like a kid at Christmas.
I know, right?
It's like, look what I got.
What is that?
He's like jogging back to his seat.
I know.
So happy.
He's all giddy.
My Cade 6 statue came in.
Oh wow.
Oh.
That's a nice size.
Yeah.
It is. That
is nice.
There's 4 of these statues now, and I have all 4 of them. But nobody knows who Cade is who starts playing today. So, just going to throw it out there.
Okay.
And you can't you could go back and figure out what happens to him, but like he was like the fan favorite character of Destiny 1 because he's the only character that had a personality. And then in year 2 of Destiny 2, in the Forsaken campaign, the whole campaign revolves around him getting murdered and you finding his killer.
Oh, okay.
And now his killer, like at the end of spoilers for Forsaken, but you can't play it anymore, so I'm going to spoil it anyway. His killer, when you find him, you kill him, and he comes back as a guardian, and he is now your ally, and he is now one of like the best character-driven stories in the game.
Well, there you go.
Because like they're kind of starting to play him up as like a Jesus character, right? Because like in Guardian lore, he's the only Guardian that we know what happened in his past life. So, and like, I guess I should explain this now. So when humans die, like obviously you die, right? But the Traveler, which is like in all the Destiny imagery, that big ball that's floating over the earth, that big white ball. When it came to Earth, it released these things called ghosts, which are the little robot guys that kind of like float around with you and revive you and stuff. Their whole mission is to find like people who they think are deserving of the light, which is the powers that you get for being a guardian. And so sometimes it takes hundreds and thousands of years for a ghost to find their guardian. But the one character, in his original life, his name was Aldrin, and he dies, and he comes back as a character called the Crow, and now Crow is like this kind of sympathetic character now because he doesn't know what he did in his past life, but all the other guardians do, and he's the only guardian that people know what happened to him, or like what he did, which was murder everybody's favorite character in the entire game. And like the whole like last expansion was like exploring how do you conceal his identity, because some characters knew who he was, some didn't, and when people find out who he is, how are they going to react, that kind of thing. And it was a really cool story, and now he's like one of the main characters, and like it was really cool to see him be accepted as a guardian, because obviously he was like a terrible person in his past life. There you go. That's my story.
All right.
God, such a nerd. Destiny.
Hey, we all have that thing that we just get into. I mean, I nerd out in the same fashion as Zelda. I just don't have any current Zelda content to gush over, so
we got Skyward Sword HD last year.
Come to Monster Hunter. We have mods that will give you the Master Sword.
Oh, that's. Listen, I got Skyward Sword HD, and I started playing through it when my son, like, whenever my son is around and he watches me play it. But I got to the Fire Sanctuary, which is in the like latter 50% of the game, and I just stopped playing it for like months. I think the last time I played was in October. Skyward Sword is difficult for me to get through.
It's because it sucks because you have to use motion.
It's not even that.
It doesn't suck. It's just I agree with you though. Like it's really difficult to get through because I think because of the motion, but then they fixed it. Like you could use the buttons, but then like you're still swinging your sword with the right stick. But you can move the camera around if you hold down L1. But like it should be the other way around. I don't know. I'm still struggling with Skyward Sword.
Well, for me, it's just so long. Like the imprisoned battles, and then you have to like collect these light orb things in this other realm just to get into the temple, and just like I don't know. It's too long.
Where's Twilight Princess and Wind Waker?
Yes.
The two best Zelda games. Where are they?
I never played Twilight Princess, but I would love to get an opportunity to play it now.
God, dude, Twilight Princess is the best. I've now purchased that game 3 separate times.
Wow.
Well, I bought the Wii version when it came out, but then I already had the GameCube version pre-ordered because I pre-ordered it like 2.5 years before it came out. Because it was supposed to come, you know how Zelda games are. They announce it and say it's coming out that year, and then they wait 2 years. So, like,
yeah,
but they didn't sell it with the Wii version. They sold it. They came out like 3 weeks after the Wii version because they wanted to sell the Wii version, and so I bought that version, which is hilarious because the Wii version and the GameCube version are flipped versions. Like the entire game is like flip-flopped. The map is backwards. The puzzles are backwards. The entire game just flipped. Because they figure most people are right-handed. And so to make Link hold the sword in his right hand, they had to flip the entire game. So, which was really hard for
left-handed?
Yes, I am.
Okay, there we go. I was like, we're going somewhere with this.
Yeah. Still, that game, I don't care what people say. I don't care if you don't like wrestling goats for 20 minutes in the beginning. Get over it. It has the best Zelda dungeons in any game. bar none. It has the coolest sidekick character. It's just Twilight Princess is like a banger.
Who's his sidekick?
Midna.
Midna. She's this sassy little, I don't know what kind of creature you'd call her, but she's got transformed or cursed from her true form. And yeah, I think she's pretty cool. Because she has such a strong personality and I don't know. And then obviously throughout the game, you kind of can work with her to obviously unlock fast travel and to fight creatures in your wolf form. Yeah. She's one of my favorite companions. I mean, that game's long too, and I didn't really like its opening either, but I think the fact that its dungeons and bosses were so strong, I easily overlooked that.
Yeah, I agree. I think the filler content is just it's a slog between dungeons, but it's worth doing it because the dungeons are so good and the bosses are so good. Especially the Ganon fight, not like the final Ganon fight, but like the Twilight Ganon fight is so good. Which is like a callback to the beginning of the game because it's all about wrestling goats. It's so good. Spoilers for Twilight Princess. Sorry, guys. You had 15, 16 years to play it, so. Or 7 if you bought it on Wii U. So, anyways. Who's playing something?
I am not playing much.
Oh, boo. What about Sifu?
Yeah, I like try to do like another run where I try to lower my age as I clear the levels. Like I'm finally getting a handle on avoiding attacks, and I'm backtracking to previous levels because I've obtained a key to unlock something in the first level. In fact, I've gotten to the point where I'm satisfied with my playthroughs that I'm able to kind of take a break from it because it almost became like an unhealthy obsession. Like any free second again, I'm like, I gotta beat Kiroki at like age 30 or something, and I kept having this thing where I needed to perfect everything, and I don't usually have that in me when it comes to video games. I'm like, let me just mainline something or just get through it, but here I'm like, come on, I gotta just do better.
It's like one of those games that I feel like I haven't played it, but it sounds like it's one of those games where like it's almost like a Tony Hawk effect or something where like if you mess up a little bit and you did, you just kind of like want to start over instantly and like I know I could do that better. I could do this better.
Yep, that happened to me at the 3rd level, the museum. Like as soon as I got like hit 3 times with the first enemy, I'm like, start over because I can do better.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it's that age thing too that like, man, if you get far and you're old in that game, like it's just, man, from what I hear from people, it's like, man, I know I could get here by age this,
Yeah. And the parts I still struggle with most is when I get, when I have to deal with several enemies and, I'm trying to run around to only take down one at a time because what happens when I die is because I get backed into a corner against the wall and there's 2 enemies on either side of me and I do a really great job dodging, but only one. Like I can't dodge 2 separate punches or kicks at the same time. I can only dodge one character. But one part that's funny is sometimes if one character has like a bat or something, and I learned that if I ducked, and one of the other NPCs are nearby, they'll whack the other NPC and knock them on the ground. It's hilarious.
Oh, okay. It's a double dragon effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sifu's on my list of games to pick up. I just haven't devoted the energy. Honestly, I feel like until like the games that are truly coming out or that I want will come out, like I'm just being really, really slow about buying new games. Like, and that doesn't mean that I don't want Horizon Forbidden West. It doesn't mean that because I just haven't beaten the original game, so I'm not in a hurry to get this game just yet. But I feel like there's going to be one game that's going to be like the watershed event for me to start just going out and buying all the fucking video games, and it's not Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. It's not that. Like, I have a funny feeling it's going to be Advance Wars that starts this whole thing because like right after Advance Wars in June we have Front Mission.
I totally respect that. Like that's what I'm trying to do, and that's why after I bought Sifu, and I kind of got addicted to playing. I'm like, maybe that's a good thing because, for example, when they first showed off Kirby, whenever I was like, oh, I'm gonna get it, but now I'm like, no, I'm really gonna hold off on these games that I'll probably buy in the future, but just I need to stave off the day one purchases because that'll open the floodgates of hell, and my wallet will start hemorrhaging. Other than that. I just played part of the Fire Sanctuary on Skyward Sword, just so my son could watch it, and that's it. Like the ability for me to play my games now is like really struggling because you guys know I've started a new job. I need to bang out my 5th novel, which I just wrote chapter 2. Like I need to just get other shit done, and once I get that done, then I'll have like eternity. Well, not eternity to play all these games. So I just need to pace myself. That's it with games. I did watch Encanto. I know it's a Disney movie, but I loved it. I cried so hard.
It's so good.
It is. For someone, me, who does not really like more modern Disney movies because they're so, I don't know, I feel like they're trying to prove several points in it. I don't feel it's genuine. I loved it. It's such a good movie.
Yeah, I think it's because like their creative team was different. They brought people in instead of using their in-house team. Like Lin-Manuel Miranda was leading the creative team for this, which, like, if you don't know, he did Hamilton and the Mary Poppins sequel, and like his after you like listen to the music a couple times and like see the personalities of the characters and stuff, like you see him kind of bleed through that entire movie, and like it just feels different. Like you said, it just feels different than anything Disney's put out in a long time. And I mean, I think Disney has like really struck gold in 2021. Like Raya, I thought was also really good. I know a lot of people have a lot of mixed feelings on Raya, but like I loved that movie. And I don't know, I think their animated production last year was just top tier Disney. And it's the first time I felt that way since like probably like Mulan and Hercules, to be honest.
Yeah, I think I had Nikolai and myself watch Encanto based off your recommendation. I'm like, hey, maybe they finally hit their stride again. Now, one thing I'll point out, and this is not necessarily a criticism by any means, but the thing that I realized when I'm watching Encanto is all these themes are like only an adult or a mature brain can really understand it. Because the main character, she doesn't have powers. Everyone else in her family has powers. So she's under this pressure to kind of pull her weight in the family. The sister who has super strength is caving under the pressure of expectations of the family. The perfect daughter always has these pressure and expectation to be perfect, which I love. That's why I cried so hard, because I actually identify with that. But I'm like, always think to myself as Nikolai is watching this, like, does he understand anything other than this is a magic house that's breaking and now it needs to not break? But I don't know if you notice that it's like all adult themes again, not a criticism. It's just
I 100% agree with you. And like we watch it with my daughter, and she thinks it's the magic house movie with the beautiful music is what she calls it. And it's like, yeah, to her it's that, but to me and my wife, it has all these other themes like you just said, and it's like it means a lot to us as adults because we all went through something like that at some point. And still so good though.
No, it is. It's now like really up there on my favorite Disney movies, no lie. But that's it. The only other comment I want to make is I want to see Uncharted this weekend. Has anyone seen Uncharted yet?
Not yet. I have to see it though, because I
want to.
I run a PlayStation podcast, so I need to see it.
I know. I want to see it though. It looks fun. Like I don't.
Yeah.
Care. A couple people that I really.
No, it's surprisingly shocking that it's the fourth seller. It was the fourth. It had the fourth highest opening. Hold on. Let me go at the crossroads. I just reported on this last night. Why am I getting it wrong?
Come on, LeRon. Stop doing so many podcasts a week. You could remember.
The Uncharted movie is a hit as global ticket sales hit an estimated $132 million. Which as of last weekend, it had the fourth biggest opening weekend for a video game adaptation at the U.S. box office.
Well, good for them. I mean,
Yeah.
for what I heard with my peers and stuff is that, like, some of it's like an exaggerated, like extravagant, like crazy type movie, but at the same time it was enjoyable.
Yeah.
Like, yes, it's over the top, but it was good.
I mean, we're not getting Indiana Jones anytime soon, so this to me is like, okay. Plus, it's like, it's really sellable. It's got Tom Holland, huge actor at this moment, right? Mark Wahlberg, huge actor. Antonio Banderas is what, the villain, I think. So like, this movie's got a lot of big names in it. So
yeah, I'm going to be dragging, hopefully, a date to see that movie this weekend. And this person's not a gamer, so I'm selling it as it's like Indiana Jones and Tomb Raider. But no, we'll see.
Sneaky.
Yeah.
That Tomb Raider reboot, not terrible. I enjoyed it. Alicia Vikander is very sellable as Lara Croft.
So yeah, that's what's going on for me. How about you, LeRon?
Monster Hunter.
Okay, no surprise.
Are you gonna gush about Monster Hunter like I did about Destiny right now?
I mean, I can. I mean, okay. So this is what I'm currently in the process of doing right now. Right now, it's all about like. I don't typically do this, but I'm actually doing a little bit of the meta thing this time around for Monster Hunter. And when I say that, I'm making high class builds for my character, just so I can just go in, blast some shit in the face, or like stab it in the eyeball, or whatnot, and go on about my business. So that's what I'm basically in the middle of doing right now. Corey, yeah, we need to do the Monster Hunter thing. We need to do it soon. Like
I know. Well, we'll get to that at the end of the show.
You're doing the Destiny thing, so it's like I get it, like, because like Destiny players showed up in Monster Hunter, back when Destiny was in that lull. So like I have respect for Destiny players, because some of those guys became like some of the best hunting partners I had. But yeah, so right now I'm chasing the meta right now, but there's also a reason why I'm kind of chasing the meta. I'm like, if I'm gonna sit here and spend time doing this, it's one of the things you have to do in Monster Hunter Rise. They have these things called switch skills, which are basically just like extended actions that you can do with the given weapons that you have. You can equip up to three different switch skills per weapon out of a total of 6. Yeah, out of a total of 6. So basically, it's just more options, more ways to attack, or more ways to defend, or get yourself out of dodge before things happen. But so one of the skills you unlock automatically once you hit a certain hunter rank, which everybody can unlock that easily. Like I think it's hunter rank 4, where you actually get access to your first switch skill. The next set of switch skills. You either unlock by creating enough weapon of each class, and then you'll get the actual updated the next version of the switch skill, or you have and I say or because like you can get to one or the other first, or you wind up getting special missions that unlock them. But I've already done all the missions that unlock them, which means like now I have to actually grind out and get weapons to actually unlock the third one. So that's what I'm in the middle of now. But I'm like, you know what? If I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just not gonna make some random ass weapons just to fill my box up, just so I can unlock the switch skill. I'm like, you know what? I might as well start making like meta specific ones. So I go in there, I just become the MVP of the team and stuff like that. So I've just been going in. I was like, okay, I'm gonna get this weapon, so I get this switch skill. But I need to make this armor. And I gotta make this decoration, so I can get these skills and all this stuff. And yeah, it's a vicious cycle. And this Monster Hunter Rise is probably the first Monster Hunter game since Monster Hunter Tri on the Wii, where money is your most valuable resource. Like it is so easy to like burn through money in this game. It is crazy. Like you burn through money faster than you burn through your loot rewards that you use to actually make these weapons and these armor. It's insane. And anyone that's played Monster Hunter long enough knows, like, part of the Monster Hunter economy is like, hey, like, I just killed like 700 of this beast. I need to sell some of his parts. And it's like, but I don't want to sell none of his parts. It's a vicious cycle. And that's what I'm in. Like, I've been playing with Nick from EXP podcast, and we've been having some fun with it. I also got some other buddies I'm playing with. Corey, of course, like I'll jump on the Switch version whenever you want. Whenever we want to do our hunters not for hire.
Yeah, I'm getting there. We'll talk about it when you're done. But yeah. I have some things that I want to say at the end of the show about stuff. So. Yeah. So that's really all. That's really it for me. Like in all honesty, this is coming from. I was at a down phase where I didn't play any games for nearly 2 weeks. Like I just didn't have time. Like I don't know if I was stressed out, but I didn't have time to play games. Like there was other stuff going on, and I just had no drive or desire to play games. So of course one day I was just sitting I just got through eating. I was sitting at the dining room table downstairs, and I was like, man, I want to play some fucking Monster Hunter. And so I cleaned the kitchen up. I walked upstairs. I put my headphones on, and I started playing Monster Hunter. And I'm back. And I'm back.
Yep. So that's it for me.
Yeah, it's I've been trying to figure out how to play more games because I don't have time for anything, because I feel like I've been doing a lot and too much, and it's tough when we're doing so much.
Here's the one thing I will say, like definitely play the video game you love playing the most. Yeah. I know for you right now it is Destiny. Stephanie, I'm quite sure for you right now it is probably Legend of Zelda, even though it seems like you're in a Zelda burnout right now because you're waiting for new content. But me, of course, it's Monster Hunter, and the good news is like I can bounce back and forth between two different Monster Hunter games because like the servers are still open for Monster Hunter World Iceborne. So when I'm tired of playing like the Naruto version of Monster Hunter, I can go play the real world version of Monster Hunter.
But she's going to be able to play the second best Zelda game in 2 days, right? When does Majora's Mask come out?
I'm not hugely into Majora's Mask, believe it or not. I'm an Ocarina of Time person. Between the two, it's what's in the words of Eddie? Side quest sequel.
Oh,
side quest sequel.
But it's so good.
Hey, I don't do time stuff. No, I liked it. I did complete Majora's Mask once upon a time with the help of a guide, and I liked it. But it stresses me out.
It does. So it does stress me out.
I don't need that added level of anxiety in my life.
The 3DS version actually like remedies all that time stuff because you can like choose. I think there's like a slower time mode on it, and like you can jump to specific times of day instead of just like waiting around.
Oh, yep.
You know what? Hold on. Before we wrap up the show, like. I have one question that we can make like a super fast topic.
Oh god.
Speed round. Let's go.
Yeah. Okay. So pick one video game from any era of Nintendo's cycle. So whether it's NES, Famicom, Super Nintendo, 64, GameCube, Game Boy Advance, Wii U, Switch. Well, not Switch. Switch is too current. Pick any game from any generation of Nintendo's history that you would want remastered, remaster, remake treatment.
You mean like remaster, or you think a remake? Because there's two different things.
Okay. When I say remake, think what Square did for Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah. Okay.
There we go. One game.
Oh god.
I can already tell you my game because I'm super romantic about it. Every time I even think about it, like I just get upswept in it. Chrono Trigger. Chrono Trigger, like they don't have to make it on Final Fantasy VII standards, even though that would be fucking awesome. But at the same time, basically a remake, a remake of the game to today's gaming standards would be fucking epic. And besides, if I'm not mistaken, Chrono Trigger was one of Chrono Trigger, and this is just me personally. Chrono Trigger is one of the first games I played that had multiple endings.
Yeah. I mean, I think for me that game is always going to be Twilight Princess. I know they did like an HD remaster, and it technically doesn't really need it, but it still feels like you're playing a GameCube game, even when you're playing it on the Wii U, right? Like it just, the way Link moves and stuff. Like you compare that to how he moves in Breath of the Wild, it's just like, oh my gosh, this game is ancient, you know. And I still have my Wii U plugged in for Twilight Princess, Wind Waker, and Xenoblade Chronicles X. Those are like I'm never going to go back and play them, but theoretically I would like to.
Yeah.
Which like as soon as those games get ported to Switch, I'm unplugging my Wii U. But
if we have to, because I know technically Chrono Trigger is not a first party Nintendo title.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had to pick a first party Nintendo title to get a remake treatment, Link to the Past.
I kind of want to see Link to the Past remade in like not necessarily the Link's Awakening art style, but like
Four Swords Adventures in that art style.
Gross.
Or the Minish Cap.
No, gross.
Well, see, okay, so quick thing, A Link Between Worlds is kind of like a remake, but not really, of A Link to the Past. But I do.
Because they threw too much new stuff in there. Like, yeah. Because who was basically like the bad guy was kind of like a young mischievous version of Ganon. If that makes any.
Yuga.
I think that's the character. Like, I never beat the game, so like I never got too deep into it.
Yeah, but you did touch on Four Swords, and I was going to give a Zelda example and a non-Zelda example. And I would pick Four Sword only because that would, and I swear I've said this before, give Nintendo the opportunity to prove themselves with their online capability. Because, with Game Boy Advance, you need like all those cables and all those things to play the multiplayer.
Yeah.
If they remade Four Sword, the multiplayer Four Swords, and through the online, like that would be. Oh gosh, that would be amazing. Yeah. I have no words.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just hijacked that, but
okay.
I was done.
I would love to see them remake Star Fox Adventures for the GameCube. Like actually make it good.
Ooh, boy. Ooh.
Hey, it is good.
Well, okay, but I meant better. Been better.
Fair.
You know what? I think we can make that like a lightning round topic for the next few episodes of the Boss Rush podcast. We're going to another system like any era of hell. Let's go to any era of Sega next time.
Ooh, okay.
And say, hey, we want this game. We want this game remade or remastered.
Oh my gosh, Crazy Taxi.
Oh my gosh,
we'd have to bring back the Offspring.
What was that game that came out recently that was like it was literally pitched as a spiritual successor to Crazy Taxi? I think it was called like Chaos.
Yeah, and then it wasn't when people, and then it wasn't after people started playing it.
Chaos Driver or something, and it was just like a really bad knockoff.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, anyways, that was a good show. That went by really fast. I didn't realize how late it was already, but
it was called Taxi Chaos.
Yeah, that.
Very original. Yeah. No, yeah, I liked it. We didn't have to be like, okay, what topics are we bringing today? We just like kind of.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like shot from the hip.
That's where that's kind of what I wanted the show to be originally. It just kind of like
we thank Stephanie for this one because Stephanie just asked me one random question and it just unearthed. We start talking about we off that one question we were able to talk about every major hitter of the gaming ecosphere. We talked about Sony, we talked about Microsoft, we talked about Nintendo.
Yeah. Nope. Oh, we even snuck some PC crap in there.
Yeah, because I'm a nerd.
Well, I want to thank everybody for watching and or listening to this episode of the Boss Rush Podcast. Remember, you can catch us on Patreon, patreon.com/Boss Rush Network, and you can get this show 3 days early for just $1, as well as 2-week early access to After Dark and Standard Definition. You can also catch us on free feeds on Monday mornings and on YouTube and on BossRush.net, where all of our content lives. Stephanie, where can we find you?
People can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Klimov, KLIMOV_author. Other than Boss Rush Podcast, you'll see me on the occasional Standard Def, particularly with the classically animated Disney movies, and After Dark.
Ooh.
Ooh, boy.
Talking about polls. LeRon.
Oh, boy, I'm in trouble, aren't I?
Speaking of polls.
Yeah.
You can find me on social media at Exodus803. That's also my Twitch and YouTube channels. That's also my PlayStation and Steam gamer tag. Do not forget, Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Crossroads PlayStation Podcast on twitch.tv/Exodus803. Of course, you're listening to me right now on the Boss Rush Podcast, but I am also the host of Boss Rush After Dark, which you know the deal. If you're a patron, you get it early. So yeah, there's that. And also I am on the Marvel Cinematic Universe Standard Definition series right now, as well as teaming up with Stoy for the Mass Effect Standard Definition series. So yeah, you got me everywhere. Like
Nice.
you can't turn around without seeing me. Let's put it that way.
You are too many places.
Not as many places as you are, Corey.
I know. I'm trying to rectify that, okay? Trying.
No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not.
I am. Anyways, you can find me at IamCoreyHD on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me hosting this show. You can also find me on Standard Definition, hosting alongside these lovely people. One at a time, though.
In various incarnations. Like, how many Standard Defs are you on right now, dude?
I'm on
you're on 4,
Disney, right? MCU,
Indiana Jones,
Disney, Indiana Jones. And Austin and I are supposed to be recording like 90s classics at some point. Like movies that will never get made today. Like Heavyweights is our first one. So
I tell you what. I'm about to make you sick. Let's do a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
It's already in the works.
Never mind then. I don't want to be part of it now.
No, I don't have anybody to do it with. That's the problem.
Oh. Which version of TMNT? Because the only ones I've really watched to completion are the ones on Nickelodeon. The ones that came on during the same reign as when Thundercats and Young Justice and Green Lantern were on. That's.
Wait, I was talking about the movies. What are you talking about?
Wait, which movies though? Like the old school ones?
All of them.
Oh, I haven't watched the. I couldn't sit through the Michael Bay one.
They're good though.
They are.
Yeah.
I'll watch.
The second one is awesome.
I'll watch one and get back to you. Maybe now in my older, more mature state.
The second one is way better than the first one, but you have to watch the first one to get the second one. Like it. Anyways.
See, that's the problem.
I want to thank everybody for watching and or listening. If you're listening on iTunes or Spotify, please leave us a 5-star review. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Find all of our content on bossrush.net. I want to thank everybody for watching and or listening. And until next time, we love you. Goodbye.
Bye.
See you later.